1 year ago, I said this.
I will tell you right now that this with 0% alcohol from Heineken tastes identical to the one with 5% alcohol. I really cannot tell the difference.
So 1 year on, let's find out if the Heineken 0 is still just as good. Hey, SG Alcohol Guy here, making use of my Wines and Spirits certification to give you honest reviews on the alcohols that I am tasting. And as mentioned, today I'll be revisiting the Heineken 0.0. So let's see if the taste still holds. So, Heineken Original versus Heineken 0.0. Now, interestingly, they look identical except for a bit of blue on this can to signify 0% alcohol. But this, the original, is a 320 ml can, whereas the 0.0 is 330 ml. Also, because this has alcohol, this set me back $3.25 per can. Not a cheap beer. While the alcohol 0.0 set me back $2.10. Now all this is in Singapore dollars, so you can tell in Singapore our beers are not cheap. So without further ado, let's go for it. Let's start with the Heineken alcohol. Alright, the Heineken Original. Now as usual, when I pour my beers, I like to ensure the foam is in the glass, not in the can. And for today, I'm going to pour out the full can for both, so that it's going to be a very, very equally balanced test. Now the alcohol 0.0, so this allows them to breathe for about the same amount of time, making it again a more fair comparison. Right, I'm pouring it exactly the same way. The foam's in the glass, not in the can. And interestingly, just like the previous video, both of them look identical. I can barely tell any difference in terms of color. The only thing that I can note of is that the original tends to have a little bit more carbonation. There's a bit more fizz to it compared to the 0. There's carbonation, don't get me wrong. It's just that it's fewer and compared to the original. Scent-wise, the Heineken, very crisp smelling lager. It actually reminds me more of a tiger beer, but a sweeter, scented version of it. And the Heineken 0.0, I'm sorry, you should see the star. Heineken 0.0. The scent-wise gives a more watered-down version of the original. It still smells like a beer, it just smells like a watered down beer. It smells like those low alcohol beers that I've reviewed at the end of last year. But more important, taste test. So in between both glasses, I will be cleansing my palate with a glass of water, well, with a sip of water. I don't want to get too full. So this will ensure, once again, fairer taste. Alcohol first. Heineken 0.0 taste test. So the Heineken, as usual, $3.20 for a can. Excellent taste, really refreshing, sweet and enjoyable. Love it. Heineken 0.0. Last year, I felt that it was really, really close to the Heineken original. This time round, as I'm tasting it, it does taste watered down. Definitely, it's 0% alcohol after all. And on top of that, there's a little bit of an artificial flavor, it sort of reminds me now of the Carlsberg zero alcohol beer, and I didn't like that. It's not as bad as the Carlsberg. It's still very drinkable for a 0% alcohol beer, but at $2 a can, I don't know if this is something I'll go for, because I have had, lighter alcohol beers that cost less than $2 a can. I'd probably go for those. Just pick up the real beer. Just go for the Heineken. Hey, thanks for watching up to this point. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have, do help me click on the like button. Do subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. More importantly, drop me some comments. Let me know if you've tried the Heineken Zero. What are your thoughts on it? And as usual, happy drinking.